Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gen Z Sanctum, and we are here today with your most loveliest podcast hosts, which is, of course, myself.
I disagree.
Okay, let's start that again. Welcome. Why do you think I'm not the best host? Not me. Why do you think we are not the best hosts? Who do you think would host this podcast better?
I don't
Exactly. Shut up. Anyway, my name is Nate Remington. This is Nathan Langford, and we are both very young people who have little to no knowledge about anything at all. I mean, other than the fact that Nathan went to college for a degree in auto collision repair, essentially.
Automotive repair, not auto collision.
Yeah, same thing.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. No, it's
Is it? It's the same.
no, it's not. Automotive is fixing it mechanically. Collision is fixing it cosmetically.
Mechanically, I mean, depending on how badly you wrecked your car. So,
Well, auto collisions don't do that.
I
That
guess
would be taken to an automotive
That's
shop.
true. Speaking of which, do you have a job in this career yet? How is that going?
I might have one. I have an interview with Firestone on Friday.
Sounds fun. All right.
Anyway,
Last time we talked about the flowering friendship we had
high school.
in elementary school and middle school. We left off right before we entered high school and decided we'll leave that to the next episode. So, but before we get into that, I have a special state of the podcast update for you all on a special announcement. This morning at around 7 o'clock, I got an email from Apple saying that the podcast, the Gen Z Sanctum, has officially been approved to start playing on the Apple Podcast app.
Ooh, nice.
So that brings our podcast to a total of, I believe, 7 platforms: Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio app. It played on that. Google Podcasts, Public Radio, and Amazon Music are all the places you can now listen to the Gen Z podcast. Although I found something interesting. When you go to Apple Podcasts and you search for our podcast is called The Gen Z Sanctum, but when you search The Gen Z Sanctum, it doesn't come up. But when you search just Gen Z Sanctum, you remove the, it's the first thing that pops up. Even though the is in the title, it's like, nah, forget the. Like, just search.
That's just not there.
Search Gen Z Sanctum in the Apple Podcast app or iTunes. You can find it in iTunes as well, and it should be the first one to pop up with Nate Remington as the main creator. But that's just a cool little announcement. Let's get into today's topic, which is our relationship when it comes to high school, the changes that happen therein, and will the world ever be the same after that? So let's wind the clock back here to 2015, 2016 era when we first went into high school. The world was interesting at that point in time.
No COVID.
No COVID, 2016, so Markiplier would have been playing
Markiplier was
or third Five Nights at Freddy's at the time.
Well, he was like
Second or third.
The game, like everybody knew Markiplier.
Everybody.
Five Nights at Freddy's was
Boom, and
huge.
2014 was the first one that came out, so we were in like third or fourth game second or third or fourth game by now.
Some people can argue, 2016. Some people say 2017 was a better year.
I don't know. I just think anything pre-2020 was a good year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, honestly, like even 2019, as bad as it was, I'd take it over the 2020.
2019 wasn't as bad. In fact, I thought 2019 was a good year.
2019 was a good year, only to have our hopes dashed the following year by the world being like, Hey, you know that pandemic that you get once every 100 years? Guess who's back, baby, in a new form?
Another pandemic.
Another pandemic. I don't know if you know about that.
It's literally no joke. Like, if you go back in history, there's been a pandemic, a global pandemic that has happened every 100 years on the spot.
1920 was the Spanish flu.
Yep. In 1820,
it was...
what was it? It was like a whole...
I know. 1620 was the Black Death.
Yeah.
Which we all know that one. 1720 was something... But anyway, every 100 years, there's
a global pandemic.
Every 100 years, the world's like, ha, 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 frick you. And
to be fair, I think we need to start getting ready because it's been a chain.
And that's true. That is true.
Like,
so,
in 3020... Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Excuse me.
3020.
2120.
Yeah. I will not live to see that year, though. Unfortunately.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll see what
Unless
happens.
we're on steroids. Well. Or we're on a bunch of 5-hour energy.
Yeah. I'm 99 years old. Hey, Nathan, you know I bought 16 cases of 5-hour energy. You want to live to see the next pandemic? Yee.
Lives to see day one, dies.
That's on the same level as those memes. My grandpa, I fought in World War II. The stairs. Anyway.
The stairs?
The stairs. Anyway, all right, back on topic. So that was side rant about diseases. Anyway, high school. Some of the best and worst years of our lives when it comes to academically, worst years of my life. Like high school was
tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Senior year was good.
Senior year, yeah. I only had one semester of senior year. I graduated a semester early.
Yeah.
So I only had 6 months of senior year, and I get to look down on everyone else who had to go back to school in the fall when I finished in May.
Wait, I thought you finished in the wait, no. You finished like in the winter and then didn't have to go back for the next semester.
Was it that? I don't know.
I thought you finished like in December when everybody else did, then everybody else had to go after winter break.
it was 2020. It was that it was the year that the pandemic started. It was when I graduated. It ended the pandemic started in March. And May of that year when everything was sucky. Yay, I finished. Hey, who's gonna help me
celebrate?
Now what do I do? There's nobody here. Help. But yeah, no. We had to wait until...
It was weird for especially work.
Oh, yeah.
When the pandemic came through, everything had to shut down. I was even asking, I was like, are we going to stay open? And I was told we were going to stay open, but the operator was going around, who can cut hours? And I was like, I can. But after like 2 or 3 months, I was like, I'm getting no money in my account, and I'm literally not spending anything.
Okay, so March 4... Do you remember? I remember this distinctly. The morning of March 14th, I woke up, and it seemed like the world had just gone quiet. You woke up that morning, like the night before it hit the U.S. and everything shut down. The next morning, you woke up, and it was like that, sort of eerily like it was quiet, but it was like suspiciously quiet, like too quiet.
Well, another thing I would add to that is that when it was all over the news, being like, when we were doing the president election, right before COVID hit, they were asking, what are you going to do? The president election. They were going through, I think they were asking Trump questions at the time, and they're like, not if COVID hits, when COVID hits. I'm like, I sure hope it doesn't. It hit.
It sure did, and we got Biden as president, and he stands up and said, we're going to do this about and that's pretty much what we got. So,
but the amazing thing is, everybody's like, "Oh no, why would you ever get the vaccine?" And I was like, "Well, one,
I like to live.
Sometimes it's required.
That's true.
But like, to go back to work, especially for doctors, they kind of have to. They're required to take vaccines.
That's true. Also, I like to live. That's another thing.
Yeah, I know.
You don't necessarily need that as much to live.
But they were about to make the vaccine like you had to take. I was like, that no, don't.
I will tell you this little secret podcast. To this day have never had a vaccine to this day.
Well, to be fair, if you got the vaccine, you would have a very high risk of getting bad symptoms.
That's true. Especially because I was both immunocompromised and had autoimmune problems, my body would start fighting itself.
Yeah,
which is
and
not
you wouldn't
good.
want to do that.
No, so I got.
Well, to
COVID.
be fair, you have a good reason why. Some people just say,
true.
I don't want to get it.
I don't want to.
Well, you have a good reason why.
Everyone's
you
like,
didn't.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Mine.
I claim an exemption. I didn't want it. Anyway, but yeah, no. I actually got COVID, which sucked. Yes.
Well, my sister got COVID.
That's
she got
true,
it for
yeah.
one day, and it was like
One
iffy.
day. I got it for 2 weeks. And
Yeah,
that
she
was
got-
the worst 2 weeks of my life. Well, not exactly.
I hadn't gotten COVID. There was
worse.
one time where I thought I'd gotten COVID. Like, no joke. One night, I was, like, vomiting everywhere, like, every hour, which, to be fair, I don't know what it is. You know, most people vomit, and that's it. They vomit once. When I get a stomach ache, I vomit every, like, hour. Like, after I vomit, I'm like, oh, I'm good, you know. 55 minutes pass by, and then, no.
To be fair, you were about 3 whiskeys in, so I'm not going to explain it. No.
No, I
yeah,
was
no.
not.
No,
But-
I would... Yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
Anyway, so after that, I got, like, a really bad chest pain,
yeah.
hard to breathe. I was like, oh, no.
I'm dying of heart attack.
I don't. So I went to a lung testing center, and they said, your lungs are fine. I'm like, why is it so difficult to breathe?
Well,
And it's just like, well, give it a couple days and see what it does. And
take 2, call me in the morning. That'll be $10,000. Anyway, surprisingly enough, COVID was actually better than when I had mono. When I was like 14 or something, that was like 3 times worse.
Didn't you say that was like 2 months of like, I can't do anything?
That is true. 2 months. My birthday month of June, July, and at least a week of August, I was essentially down and out for everything. Stayed in bed. If I moved an inch, I would throw up. Had a fever of like 105 for like 3 consecutive days there for a while. Had to, actually, for the fever, I had to sit in a cold bath because my temperature went too high, like critically high to the point where it would have killed me if it had gotten any higher, which was bad. If you didn't know, the body, when it gets too hot, says, I'm gonna just die. I'm good. I'm gonna just check out. See ya. And just does the 2-finger. Bye.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. So, not good. But COVID was surprisingly easier because that was sort of the standard by which I was measuring. Like, I hope it's not that bad, because if it's that bad, I'm probably gonna die.
And then,
but no, it was 2 weeks of.
This wasn't really during high school, but
No, that was before high school. Anyway, sorry. Side rant over.
Okay. Freshman year of high school.
Freshman year.
I walked into high school. I was like, oh, cool. I feel like a big kid. Then I actually see the homework amount. I'm like, I hate my
Can
life.
I go back to middle school? Can I go back, please? Yes.
And then not really a lot went on during freshman year.
That's true. Freshman year, you get excited about being in high school for about
then you're like, you
couple
see
of
it,
days.
and you see sophomore, you're like,
and then
same
it sort of
thing.
flies, like the first 2 years of high school, freshman and sophomore sort of fly by. And
Then
you hit junior
and you're
year.
like,
It's like,
junior year for me was like intense.
the same for me. Junior year was yes. That's all I can describe it as. Just
But then
year.
senior year was like a little
better, yeah.
like a breeze.
Yeah.
I didn't have math. I didn't have a lot of stuff. I have
true.
like 3 classes.
That's true. I didn't have math in stroke. Sorry, I didn't have math in senior year either. So yeah, that was great because like classes like history, geography, health, all of that, cool classes. Algebra 2, Hell no.
Yeah.
That is not a class I would
To be
want
fair,
take.
Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, I didn't hate. It was geometry that I absolutely hated.
You and me switched. I loved geometry, hated algebra 2.
Oh, I hate it. Like my math teacher said, it's either one or the other. You either love algebra, hate geometry, or love geometry and hate algebra.
That's true. I
There's
love geometry. I like shapes.
My teacher had never met anyone that had loved both.
You would be a psychopath.
I love both.
Now, if you think geometry or algebra 2 is bad, stroke again. Sorry, I'm talking like Joe Biden there. Hold on. Any of you guys, listeners who are in college, we never experienced calculus.
You don't.
I've heard is basically if algebra 2, geometry, and algebra 1 all snorted about 5 lines of cocaine and made a baby. That's calculus, essentially.
How do you snort cocaine and get a baby from that?
Just go with it. Go with it. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know the analogy. But yes, so calculus, especially calculus and the calculus.
You mean algebra and geometry snorted and had a baby?
No, algebra 2 was there too. It was a 3-way. With cocaine. I heavily imply cocaine. Anyway, don't do drugs, kids. But if you do oh yeah. I must be off today. My brain is just off today. Sorry. But yeah, no. Yes, sophomore year I think was the worst high school year ever. Yeah. What did we do during our relationship? We both had separate experiences in high school. But what was our relationship like?
We kind of lost a good relationship
because school took up so much of our time.
I was like busy all the time. I had church, pretty much.
Yeah.
Church, school, sleep.
True. With the occasional Wednesday night at youth group that we might see each other for like an hour, maybe less.
And then there was karate.
Yeah,
that was big during high school.
Oh yeah,
we would occasionally see somebody there. Like after classes was, I was a junior leader, so I was supposed to go to the junior leader class, but I'm like, I don't care.
And my dad worked at the church.
So you would occasionally go, and then you'd be waiting outside. And then one of the things we would do is just like, there's so much open space. Well, we just sprint from one side of the church to the other.
It was a mega church building that my dad was like, not a security guard, like an operations manager. But this was a Wednesday, so this mega church was practically empty except for the gym, which was being used for karate. But the whole rest of the building, the sanctuary, all
gym was for karate, and I believe dance was going on as well. Dance was going on the floor below.
The floor below in the basement. Which it's kind of cool. Like have you ever been in the College Art basement?
Yeah,
that's a cool place.
Yeah, when you go down there, you realize, wow,
it's dark.
It's dark. It's old. The AC is on.
Always like 10 degrees colder than the rest.
Oh
of the
no, I'd say it's 20 degrees colder.
Oh, okay. Like that basement is cool. Like if I were to ever, like zombie apocalypse situation, if there was a building that I would hang out in, it would be that building's basement.
Yeah.
That or the ministry center, which that's cool. Like the second level of the ministry center where all the couches and everything are, that would be a perfect place to hang out.
Yeah.
On, if nobody else cared. But yeah, no, those we talked about in the last episode that we would have phone calls with each other. Really not in high school, unfortunately.
No, not really. We all had our own lives, our own stuff to worry about.
But senior year and after senior year, we kind of picked that up a little bit more. But also by the time we reached senior year, we had our own phones. We were no longer using the handheld, the house, the inline, the landline like handsets that we had used.
Yeah, the home phone.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, I actually like the home phone.
True.
Calling with that.
That was very nice. Unfortunately, I just shut up. Anyway, unfortunately, that is now gone. Like the landline is canceled, and we no longer have a landline, so it's kind of sad. Anyway, well, we're about 19 minutes and 30 seconds in. I had another topic that I wanted to talk about, but I'm not sure whether we should lump that in to this episode.
Yeah, we could just... What we're saying here is high school was bland.
Yes.
Nothing really went on. It was school,
we had
church, some
I had,
karate,
yeah.
sleep.
Although I had one of my worst mental health crises in sophomore year of high school.
And what was that?
It was bad enough to the point where I almost oofed myself, removed myself from the gene pool.
What do you mean?
I'm not gonna say the word because that's kind of it's like the word retard. It'll get you canceled if you say it.
Well,
yeah.
It's like where you turn into that, or you...
No, it's essentially where you die by your own hand, if you catch my drift.
I don't.
All right, we have a retard in here, folks.
Wow.
If you kill yourself, Nathan,
yes.
is what I'm talking about.
Yes, I understood
It's
that.
S, the S word, for killing yourself.
Ah.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, yeah, my mental health crisis in sophomore year of high school brought me to almost kill myself. To the point, you see this? Mm-hmm. You see those scars there on my arm?
Yeah.
I was having such bad problems, like I couldn't feel anything. So to help me feel something, I took a razor blade to the upper part of my arm, and I just started flicking pieces of skin off my arm, just because I felt nothing and I wanted to feel something. It was bad.
Wow.
I was on pretty strong antipsychotics for the rest of high school, sophomore, senior year, because that was close. There was also an incident where when I did that, I collected the blood that came off of it in a bag, and I walked in front of my mom and I was like, "Hey, Mom, look at this!" Opened the bag and just drank it, just drank the couple of swallows of blood that was collected in the bag, and just stood there in front of her. I was like, "Hey, Mom, watch this," and then stood there smiling at her, and that was shortly after that, I was like, "What the frick is wrong with you?" So I
and
had a
I'm sure
problem.
your mom was very concerned.
My mom was like, "Am I raising a psycho?"
Oh my!
For like 5 minutes there. But yeah, no. Sophomore year, worst year of my life ever. Thankfully, high school is now over, and I've had time, and it's all recovered. I'm in a much better place now, I would say. Have you ever had a bad? Well, I don't know about that bad, but have you had a bad mental health time?
I really haven't had. My mental health is mostly focused around school. I had I can't remember if it was freshman year or sophomore year where I was like, oh, nobody likes me, confined to myself.
Yeah, that was me. I had no friends in high school except you, and I wouldn't hear from you a lot because we were both
we were both so busy. I had a lot of stuff to worry about.
So
and not to mention, when junior year started for me, not only did I have regular school to worry about, but I had J. Everett Light.
That's true.
To worry about.
Same here.
That's getting up at, no joke, 5:30 in the morning.
True. Same here.
My day would start at 5:30 and end at 10
p.m. Yeah.
I had a long
we hated
day.
our lives in high school.
It was bad. I loved J. Everett Light, but I was like, I cannot
if it
do
was
this.
just J. Everett Light, it might not be so bad because you got home at about 3 p.m.
Yeah, but then I would go to J. Everett Light. I would get out at
3 or 4. Yeah.
I'd leave at 5. Class started at 7, I think, because it was like a half an hour to get there. So and so.
Yeah.
Then I would come home. I'd eat breakfast, start on some school, do a little bit, go to co-op, come back home, do some more school, do even some more school.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. It's 10 o'clock.
Gotta go to bed.
Gotta go to bed.
I'll just ignore this call from Nathaniel real quick. Oh, is that Nathaniel? I'll ignore that. But then again, yeah.
I gotta be frankly honest. You know why I ignored almost all your phone calls?
I'm sure you were dead tired.
No. Mom.
Oh, yeah.
She'd see the phone. She'd look at the phone, recognize the phone number, and just be like, "It's Nathaniel. You're not talking to him." I was like, "Can I just say hi?" No.
Yeah, that was really rude. Because then I thought it was
Mom.
you. Like, for a while,
No.
I thought you were doing that.
I so badly wanted to get up and, call because we hadn't talked in a while. Mom's like, "No, you got school to worry about." I'm like, "I understand, but don't I have like 10 minutes?" No. Wow.
Shut up, Mom. What did you say, little? No, I'm kidding.
What did you say to me?
Grabs the slipper. What? No. Yeah, no. Speaking of which, I don't think either of our parents were the slap you with a slipper type, like beat you kind of parents. I don't think.
No.
No, like I don't even know if a belt was even used on me. I don't think.
No.
A ruler was used on me a couple of times in middle school. My mom would get out this little 1 foot piece of wood that if she hit it a little too hard, it would fracture into several pieces. But then she would just use it to like lightly, a love tap, shall we say?
A love tap.
You can see the big air quotes, the love taps. Yeah, so that was interesting. Anyway, let's see, what are we at now? 25 minutes? Well, let me talk to you about the topic that I wanted to talk about, but I think this topic deserves its own episode, which is Minecraft.
I think we'll save that for next episode.
I think we'll save that
anyway,
for next
we'll
episode.
Continue with high school.
But we have got about 10, 15 more minutes of this episode to go. So let's go into a little bit more detail. So graduation, and graduation comes with sometimes walking.
I had
out
two
on
graduations.
Yeah. So for either of those, did you walk?
Yeah. For both, I did.
Oh, cool. Because I did for neither.
One of the graduation was 3 people.
3 people?
Which was actually kind of nice. It meant we got some of our own time.
Nice.
But then the graduation with Wisdom Builders was like
200 or something?
No, it wasn't that much, but it was considerably larger.
Yeah.
It was not in the hundreds. It was like 30.
So this is what my high school graduate. Frick, this chair's in the way. Hold on, our chaotic studio is very chaotic. But essentially, I graduated. I got a congratulations letter, and I was like, well, that's over now. And 2 weeks later, they just sent me the diploma. Just the singular thing right here.
So
very flimsy piece of paper that just said, "You suffered long enough. Here you go," and handed me this thing, and yeah, that was it. I didn't walk.
Well, to be fair, there isn't really a
with.
walk down with an
online charter school. No,
Yeah.
There's not. Well, they had a ceremony. They do a ceremony where you get together in person, but remember, this was COVID.
Yeah, they
didn't have anything going on that year. And then, so another big part of graduation is, of course, the famous graduation party that occurs several weeks to sometimes several months after you graduate. And it usually happens in the spring.
To be fair, it wouldn't even happen that when you graduate. It usually happens like either before or after the ceremony.
That's true, yeah. So, for me, we had it in the spring of the following year after I graduated. It was 2021 when we had our graduation ceremony.
You got heavily distracted right there.
That was picked up on mic, but Nathan just let loose. Anyway, it was, May the 2nd, 2021, when I had my graduation ceremony.
Ooh.
And my ex-girlfriend was there.
Ooh, fun.
And she gave me her phone number, finally. And that was fun. Gave me her phone number, texted her a couple of days later. Responds, who is this? I respond, it's me. Haven't heard a response back since. So, who knows? Anyway, so that being said, graduation party. What's a common what was yours like?
Mine was like, well, I had one. I had a few people come, but it was more like,
mostly
people
family,
yeah.
I wish you had invited me to yours because I invited you to mine and you came.
I thought I invited you.
I don't think so because I don't
Okay, well, I was aware that you were invited. I guess
don't
not.
think I ever got an invite. Then again, I sent.
This is an awkward situation.
Then again, I sent my invitation out on a plastic card that was blue with gold lettering and a picture of me. That was the invite that I sent out to everyone.
Yeah.
And Nathan's invite to me would have been something like this. You talking to your mom. Hey, Mom, can you tell Nathan's mom, or Nathaniel's mom, to invite him? Sure, honey. Don't even know if you would remember to do that. But I guess,
well, to be fair, we had cards to
extent.
send out too, and I'm pretty sure we had extra.
Yeah.
So
I don't. Oh wait, no, we did get. Well, it was not an invitation. It was just the card that had like you graduate 20 class of so and so. Got that? It's on the fridge. But I think you.
All right.
Yeah, that's
1 second.
1 second. Oh, you finding the one on the fridge? It's on there somewhere, along with the like.
That's why you weren't there.
Oh.
That's why you weren't there.
Oh, he's explained. Oh, that's. Damn it. Okay. All right. Side rant.
Anyway.
Holiday World. Good job. The people sucked. Okay, so Holiday World is an amusement park in southern Indiana, which it's a great place to go. But if you work there, it sucks.
Okay, let me dumb it down for you people. Basically, the people are biased.
Nathan, were you there? Can you? No, I thought not.
You told me they
that
were
is true.
biased.
I gave you this one.
You told me they were biased.
They preferred employees that had worked there for many, many years over newly incoming people. They held us to a higher standard, made us follow rules, and then like other senior members who would break those rules, we'd be like, "Hey, isn't that a rule?" Oh yeah, that doesn't apply to them. That kind of. And then like the first day we went in, they were like, here's the training book for employees. But if you look here, and here, we don't do that. Like the rule like 12, 16, 23, and 25, that doesn't apply to certain people. And it was like, shouldn't all of your rules apply equally to every employee, no matter what level of, like just general conduct rules that applies to all levels of people?
Yeah, you would think.
So I'm not going to get it. That's a whole. I think we have 2 episodes planned out. I think we have 2 episodes planned out here: a Minecraft episode and a bad work experiences episode.
I had one coworker at my grandparents' shop who was.
Yeah.
A little sus, to say the least.
Hey, yo, sussy.
Hey, yo, sussy, bro.
So next Wednesday, or next Thursday, depending on when you hear this, we'll probably upload this either very late on Wednesday when I finish editing it, or early Thursday. Next week's episode will be about either Minecraft or bad work experiences. What do you think we should do? I think the Minecraft one might require a little bit of research, because
I'd say do
the bad work experience. That makes sense.
Anyway, that's going to be on next week's episode.
Yeah, that episode's going to get us pissed.
Signing out.
That's going to be some angry stories on that episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, signing out.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the podcast. But before you go, I just want to say this. We have a long-term goal on this podcast to get 100 followers. When we reach 100 followers, we get host read ads, which essentially means like we can say this episode is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends or something.
This episode is supported by Bubbles.
Something like that, and we get paid for it. So that is our ultimate goal. So follow the podcast and send it in send it in threatening chainmail format. Send the link of this podcast to the first 10 contacts and say you will get cancer if you don't follow this podcast. Do something. Let them follow the podcast.
I'll delete your Microsoft account.
I'll delete System 32 if you don't follow this podcast. But anyway, share it to your friends and make sure to tune back in weekly for episodes.